TGI Friday, everyone. Yes, today is blog post day, and quite an exciting day it's going to be. First, before we jump into the blog post, I do want to spend a few minutes really quickly going over the details of the new Auto Blitz and Raid Simming that came out accidentally yesterday for like 5 minutes. But on Reddit, there was a post by Cerebro about it, and I think the idea of it is kind of exciting. And after we go over that, I have some quick clips of it that people captured before it came down. So without further ado, let's jump on over. Alright, so I just wanted to draw people's attention to this post that was made on Reddit last night, in case people were unaware or missed out on this. So it's called Future Feature Blitz Sim by Cerebro. This was posted, I guess 19 hours ago as of this video. I think it was like 6 p.m. Pacific time. And so basically they're talking about that this feature is under development, but that they're going to be bringing it out likely in December 2020. Now, it was available for about 5 minutes for Blitz and Raid modes. I do have some clips on that as well. They were going to feature this in the next strike time video, but apparently, somehow, it got activated early. I don't know how these things happen and how these things keep happening with Scopely. But, there's always these kind of oopsies or mistakes every now and then, a bit more frequently than we'd like, but it did give us an option, or the availability to see this up front. Now, it was quite interesting, so they don't really give any super details. They say it's still in development and it's not representative of the final product, and that, there's no guarantee that it's also going to be available for raids. I think what they're planning on is mostly for the Blitz game mode, which is still interesting. They do put a time frame here of December 2020, but what I do want to draw people's attention to is the clips that I have now. These were posted over the course of yesterday. I don't know how I somehow missed out on this. I think I was not blitzing. I think I was PvPing, and somehow I guess I wasn't there on my phone during this 5 minutes, so I didn't get to take advantage of it. They also do say that they'll be sending out compensation soon to all players. This is probably likely to people who took advantage of the simming for Blitz and managed to pick up a lot of Sinister credits because of that. So hopefully we'll get some extra Sinister credits for the milestone for that. So I have some clips here. This is of the raid that people were using of the Greek Raid 4, and I'll just expand this here. And so there's a sim on button here, which is really cool, and allows you to simulate the battle using your own characters that you want to use for that match. And I guess it does some sort of algorithm, and if it thinks that you're going to win, then it'll give you the rewards. Now, I don't know if it ends up damaging your characters or anything like that. So we'll have to wait and see about that, or if anyone has any further information. I wasn't really there for that. And then this next one here, this is a sim defeat, I think in the same beta raid. I guess his team wasn't strong enough, or the computer thought that it wasn't strong enough to beat that level. So I think it goes into Ultima 7 actually here. So there's another clip here. It goes into the Nick Fury boss node. So I imagine like boss nodes are going to be hard to sim, and you're probably going to want to have to do that yourself. So there you are, the defeat there. So now, and it says that you did about maybe a third of the damage there. So I imagine that the simming is only, if they do bring it out for raids at all, is probably going to be designed to do for regular nodes and not for boss nodes, and you're probably still going to want to have to play that out yourself. Otherwise, you probably lose your team as a result of that. So I do have another clip here of Blitz Simming. This is a pretty interesting one too. And looks like they're at tier 8.3, at least here anyways, and then they do battle, and they actually win. So that was, let's go back to that actually. So that was a punch-up of 170k, and the AI still thought, or the algorithm believed that they'd win. Probably would have, but it's interesting anyways. So I'm surprised that you're able to do it at 8.3, and this is another X-Men team here. Again, not much of a surprise because X-Men can punch up quite a lot, but how the algorithm actually is going to work with the simming is going to be what's interesting there. So that was a loss there with, was that a Asgardian team versus Defenders? I think you probably could have won that if you actually played it. So yeah, I don't know how they determine how you win and how you lose and things like that. I think it'll probably be a lot safer to do up to tier 6, maybe even tier 7, but definitely will be interesting how they play this out with in terms of events, because obviously if you're able to sim, getting things like Sinister credits would be made significantly easier. So I wonder if they're either going to move the goalposts as a result, push things back, or you're going to need more points for events, or if they change the structure of Blitz altogether in terms of the rewards. So obviously it's still sort of in development. They haven't finalized this, and it's not expected to come out until December apparently. So, but that's all really interesting stuff, I think. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys looking forward to any sort of simming for Blitz or for raids? And how do you think that's going to impact the game at all? So we're done with that now, and let's jump on over to the blog post where we got quite a bit of juicy news to talk about. Alright, and I'm sure some of you might have already guessed, yes, this is Scream on the front. We did get a little bit of a teaser of Scream. There was a Facebook post that was made actually asking people what their favorite villain was, and Scream was listed, so I think that kind of gave us some information that she was going to be coming in the blog post. So, the Alien Amplifier, and that's the name of the blog post today, so let's get going. Greetings, Commander. Watch your step this week because another symbiote's on the loose and is looking for someone to whet its appetite after connecting with the new Clintar on the block. Strap in for an event courtesy of Doom Fantastic Blitzes and a red-hot returning legendary event. Now prepare for your first contact with Strike's newest symbiote, Scream. Corrupt the battlefield with the symbiote's upcoming new member, Scream, a spawn of the Venom alien symbiote. Scream is a bloodthirsty parasite that bonded with a mentally unstable soldier of fortune and has spent much of her time on Earth terrorizing its top heroes. Much like Venom, Scream possesses superhuman strength, reflexes, an accelerated healing factor, and a form of ESP similar to Spider-Man's Spider Sense. For the symbiote team, Scream is a controller, this is important here, who silences enemies by applying bleed, disrupt, and slow, as well as healing all symbiote allies when any character is eliminated from battle. So, I kind of expected, a lot of people expected that Scream might be a healer type. Now, I am a little bit surprised at that, actually, because I don't feel that they actually need it, because I think that between, at least in Raids and Dark Dimension, of course, the symbiotes are pretty overpowered when it comes to their drain, so, and with Carnage's passive, I'm a little bit surprised that they actually did go with that, but hey, we do have a kit down below, so let's check it out. So we do a Villain City Bio Controller Symbiote. Most of that's not surprising. Unfortunately, this looks to be another patch of Bio characters with She-Hulk as well. It's a lot of Bio, so I think I'll be skipping out on She-Hulk probably in favor of Scream. So basic Symbiote Swipes. Attack primary target for damage, plus apply bleed and clear one positive effect. So that's kind of like Venom a bit. Chain to 2 adjacent targets for damage, plus apply bleed, plus clear positive effect. This is a better, actually, a better Venom. This attack can chain to stealth targets. That's even better. Counterattack breaks this chain, so that sucks, but hey, otherwise it would be too overpowered maybe. That's pretty cool. Special Splitting Hairs, energy cost 4 to 4, so turn 1 available. Attack primary target for damage, plus clear 2 positive effects, plus apply offense down. That was something that I did say that the symbiotes were missing, was the ability to apply offense down. So now you have defense down with Symbiote Spider-Man's basic, and now you have the ability to apply offense down. This is pretty cool. And more clearing, so what can't go wrong with that. Chain to 2 adjacent targets for damage, plus clear 2 positive effects, plus apply offense down. Now, I imagine this is only 1 turn of offense down, not 2. Given that it's an energy cost of 4, but we don't have any specific numbers, like percentages or anything like that. I'm assuming, I don't know if it would have had 2 turn here or not, if it actually was, but we'll have to wait and see when the patch goes live. This attack can chain to stealth targets, counterattacks break this chain. So I do like the fact that she can hit stealth targets. That's really cool. And there's tons of positive effect clearing, so this is pretty bonkers. Ultimate hair trigger, 4 out of 6. So this is turn 2. Even though it's 4 out of 6, you do get a 1 ability energy on spawn or on your turn. So this is a turn 2 attack. Attack primary target for damage, plus apply slow for 2 turns and disrupt for 1 turn. So this said 2 turns and 1 turn, so I'm assuming that this offense down is also for 1 turn. But oddly, it doesn't say 1 turn, whereas the ultimate does say that, so I don't know, but I'm just going to assume it's only 1 turn. Attack adjacent targets for damage, plus apply slow for 2 turns and disrupt for 1 turn as well. So all of that gets applied to adjacent targets, so that's pretty nice. Reduced speed bar for primary and secondary targets. Again, no numbers here, but hey, that sounds pretty good. And it can't be blocked, but it still can be dodged. So if you're maybe, I guess, in war, or if you're fighting certain characters like Merc Riot Guard, Captain America, other characters that can block, then it will go right through that. So slow for 2 turns. I mean, in some ways it's a little bit redundant because Symbiote Spider-Man's ultimate also does slow for 2 turns, but I guess in this way there's always going to be some form of slow up, especially if you're using them in the raids. So there's always going to be these debuffs on it, and the disrupt is pretty nice. Unfortunately, it's not a turn 1 disrupt. That would have been quite significant, at least in terms of Alliance War and things like that, but I'll take what I can get. Passive, Symbiotic Attachment. On death of any character, heal all symbiote allies for a percentage of this character's max health, plus apply speed up for 2 turns to self and all symbiote allies. That is crazy. Now, this will probably be a lot better in raids rather than Dark Dimension, because obviously characters don't die that frequently in Dark Dimension, so I don't see that happening too often. But at least in raids, this is quite a bit. This potentially. We don't have the percentage though, so we don't really know. And if this character has 3 or more symbiote allies, lower all enemies' resistances by a percentage, which the numbers aren't there either. But that's pretty cool. So if you're having problems landing debuffs, which I haven't really, but I guess you'll have an easier time because of this. And the healing is pretty nice, and that should propel them. She should basically be able to replace characters like Minerva, because when using them all together, that's essentially what Minerva does, except for in this case, it's healing everyone for a percent and apply speed up. So yeah, this I think symbiotes are going to be the meta raid team, the apex raid team, way more than Wakandans ever was going to be. So this sounds pretty cool. Now fortunately we don't have the anti-venom kit, it looks like, but maybe we'll see that when the patch goes live, or we'll see it next Friday. Now, one of your first chances to get Scream in the roster is the Parasitic Intentions event campaign. Okay, so this is interesting because everyone thought, and including myself, that She-Hulk was going to be the event campaign, but apparently not. So this will actually give you a really good way to get about 4 to 5 star on Scream. And that's really good given that she's the healer, and a lot of things are based on her percentage and her max health and all that. So assemble a top team with the limited time Metamorphosis trait to join Scream as she fulfills her end of an ominous pact with Doom. Gather her alien siblings for Doom's army in exchange for his help to control her symbiote powers. So we're going to be a limited time trait, which you'll be able to search for as soon as the patch goes live. And this is another full photo of Scream looking pretty awesome. So this is really good news, because I was really disappointed with the fact that She-Hulk's kit is very Alliance War defense based. So I'm probably going to put in a lot of cores to refresh to try to get as many Scream shards as possible. Getting her up to 5 star would be really awesome. And then so we have some more news down here. Doom's influence. Dr. Doom is still en route to Nexus Earth, but he's already launched a mystical assault to counter his strike. To counter his attack, Strike is temporarily moving character shards to new locations. Captain Marvel, being made farmable, who's making her campaign node debut. Here's a rundown of all the affected nodes with new characters. Heroes 1-9. Yondu is being changed to Hawkeye. Shield Medic to Mysterio. That is going to be great for new players, having Mysterio available for Sinister Six and Invisible Woman farming. Out of the raid store and into Heroes 2-3, which is a very early node. Bullseye is turning into Yondu. Okay, that's not really a huge deal. Shield Security to Captain America. This is a pretty big deal, I would say, because having that 3-6, I think Captain America was a bit later of a farm. So again, pretty nice for new players. Elektra to Shocker. This is a bit surprising. That means Shocker probably is going to get moved as well. Heroes 3-9, again, an early node to get started for new players for Shuri and Invisible Woman. Nebula to Bullseye. Who cares about Nebula and Bullseye? Well, okay. Hawkeye to Quay. Captain America to Captain Marvel. Heroes 6-9. So if I'm not mistaken, I think this node was like an Ultimus fight, I think. It's been a while since I've done that node. But that's not too bad in the game. That's I wouldn't say an early node, but it's not too difficult. And making Captain Marvel available there is going to be really nice and really appreciated for newer players, and for anyone else who doesn't have Captain Marvel yet at 7 star. Now, Bullseye is moving to Elektra. Hawkeye to Black Widow at Villains 1-9. So it looks like they're pushing the sort of Wave 1 Avengers, making them a little bit more available, and especially because Black Widow was in one of the newer Heroes or Villains campaign chapters. I forget which one. Hydra Sniper to Green Goblin. This is really awesome too. Again, making that Sinister Six available quite easily now. So 3 characters for the Sinister Six are being made available, like basically in the first 2 or 3 chapters here. Electra to Vision Nexus 3-9. That's a huge change because Mystic 3-9 was Vision's current chapter, making Vision again more available to newer players, which is great. And Kree Cyborg to Hydra Sniper, no real opinion on that one. The characters originally on these notes have either been moved or were a duplicate instance. We've also lowered the star unlocks for Mysterio and Hawkeye. Mysterio will now unlock at 45 shards rather than 100 that he was, and Hawkeye at 15. So this is a really good, really good change for new players. And of course, anyone who doesn't have any of the shards for the characters above, which makes them a little bit easier to get. So take advantage of Doom's influence while you can. And of course, returning legendary Phoenix, so if you do need to recruit Phoenix Doom, she'll be coming around the corner, and with that, a double shard farm for villain Mystic controllers, which I believe is only for Hela, Hand Assassin, and Nobu. I don't believe any of the others. Oh, and Loki, of course, actually. So if you do need Loki or Hela particularly, and you have them unlocked, then use this to take advantage of the double shards for Black Bolt's event as well. Upcoming blitzes, looks like we got a Thing Blitz on Monday, and then we have a Cyclops Blitz on Thursday. So we are having a little break in terms of high-profile blitzing. So that's kind of nice, because after this Sinister event, I'm really kind of getting blitzed out. Chaos Theory is returning, it looks like here, and if you need, that'll be coming next week, I believe. It's like the first week of the month. And if you do need any extra shards for them, then they'll be available here for double shard farming, and that is all. But there was quite a bit of stuff in here, lots of changes for some of the shards for characters, particularly the Sinister Six and Wave 1 Avenger characters. That makes them significantly easier to farm for newer players, and the Scream Kit looks pretty awesome, guys. So, yeah, let's outro and talk about it. Alright, that was quite an interesting blog post. The Scream Kit looks pretty awesome, and I think is the start of the cementing of Symbiotes as that Apex raid team. And I think given how powerful the 3 of them were together already, there was no real doubt that this was going to happen. The fact that Scream is going to be made available as a campaign character is even more amazing, and means that she'll probably be the first character of the patch made available, hopefully next week. I'm putting my estimation for the patch on Tuesday, as that's normally the day that they do patches. Not only that, but there has been some real player-friendly changes in the character farming for Sinister Six, Wave 1 Avengers, and Captain Marvel that I think people can only be happy about there. So some great adjustments, a super nice blog post. We just are gonna have to wait and see what's in store for Anti-Venom, who is the last one to officially be announced, if that is who we are getting indeed. What do you all think about the blog post today, and what are you most excited about? I'm definitely going to be coring for Scream's campaign, and I might even consider at least spending some cores on her for an early unlock so I can get closer to a 5-star this time around, as I wasn't really all that lucky for Swarm's Orb, so fingers crossed that I'm a bit luckier this time. If you enjoyed my video today, then please smash that like button down below and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And of course, till next time guys, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Moylon signing out.